telling us how when we move towards this knowledge, our mind start becoming calm. Do you remember that in Bhagavad Gita also he said that when you go into the samadhi, your mind becomes calm. That means all of a sudden it's not agitated. Mujhe, oh, what about this? What about that? Even seeking knowledge, you kind of stop. And this morning, actually, I saw one program. It was quite amazing program, and the reason I'll tell you why it was amazing, because in the beginning I was watching all this universe program who on the physical level try to understand what universe is. So I watched because our son is interested in that kind of stuff, so both of us were watching a lot, and it was a fascinating program and all about Earth and planets and galaxy and universe and quantum physics and oh my god, so much science. I may not understand everything, but overall gist I was getting. And then towards the end of watching this program, I told my son, this is completely missing in these guys, that they don't talk about consciousness at all. And then there is one program that I watched this morning. It was on YouTube, and if somebody is interested, Joe might be interested really. I will send that link, whoever is interested. There is a guy who was like interested in physics, but he was very like a loner. He didn't connect to the world because he had probably some spiritual bent or something. So he started studying physics on his own. And then now, I think now he may have a position. I didn't finish that program because the class was there, so I, stopped it. So I'm going to finish it. But he's the one who linked the two together, And he said that 20 years ago, it was like when I would talk about this, I would get completely booed. Meaning, they wouldn't want to listen to him. He's saying, he called it the C word, the consciousness. He said, in America, you can say the F word as many times as you want, but you cannot say the C word in those days because people, they will boot him out. They say, what are you talking about? And he's saying now they are listening to him. It's completely shifted because they're bringing science and consciousness. They're trying very hard now to understand consciousness, because without that consciousness, everything seems incomplete, and he said that he has come with the equations now that then explains it better, because in their just physical world, the equations were getting confusing and they couldn't find answers. But the moment he adds this kind of thing, and he went into very high level science and all. I may not understand everything, but it was amazing fascination that he brought that topic, which is the topic of all this that we are studying. So they don't deny science. Like Vedanta doesn't deny science, but it just says that you have to see both. Jnani is a person who knows both. That's what Krishna Bhagavan is again and again repeated in Bhagavad Gita. He should know the world, and he should know the consciousness. He should know the relationship between them. Then your jnana is complete. That's what the message from Bhagavad Gita and all the other this thing is. So, keeping that in mind. Sorry?
Now, because our consciousness as a universe is going higher now. We already started moving to Treta Yuga from Kali Yuga. We are going higher. So overall in the whole world, our consciousness is rising now.
Yeah, a lot of people believe that. True.
People understand that more now.
Yeah. And there are people, who may be born in Kali Yuga or Treta Yuga, they are still residing in the Sati Yuga, because it all depends on where your mind is, So that's why they said the people who are, self-realized people, they are forever in Sati Yuga only, So that's another way of looking at it. But they are helping us to rise.
So one comment I have is that science is under the umbrella of time dimension.
True.
And consciousness is beyond time dimension.
True. Yes.
So there's a big difference. So science can never reach. They may think they reached, but so long as that time dimension thing is removed, so the only way we see the time dimension removed is in our dream state. Because you can go back and forth in dream without the time problem.
And also that you can travel from childhood to your death also in the dream.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, and in this ND people that I've listened to, they said from the worldly perspective, it may have been 5-10 minutes, but when they were in that realm, it felt like few weeks they were there and they were enjoying all these things and all that. When they came back, and they said the same thing, they say over there the time doesn't exist, and that's why lot of them who went little deeper into their consciousness, they said that they could see past, present, future all together, which is so
Okay,
mind-boggling
I can
for
tell you
us.
from personal experience that when I went to this Nadi Jyotish guy, that is written thousands of years ago by August Muni in Tamil, and he predicted everything that is happening to me. And he said that this information is written that when I came to receive it, in other words, like my father is dead, mother is alive, and if I came later or earlier, this information would be irrelevant. So the idea is not only it was the written for this time, but the drawing of me to come to that place and collect information was also predicted.
I know what you're saying.
Science can never touch something like that.
True. So, absolutely true, because some of these people, what they said that they didn't want to come back because they were feeling so unconditional love and all that over there. So they said, no, you have to go back. But they say, oh, but my body looks so rotten over there, all disease and things like that. So they said, don't worry. They showed them that they'll recover. So they said when they came back to life again in their body, the doctor was saying, oh my God, ye to mar jayega abhi 1 ghante mein. So we told the doctor, don't worry, don't worry, I'm going to be okay. And nobody believed them, but the future was already shown to them. So they knew that they're going to recover. It's like mind-boggling that we can't even imagine about these things. But they are telling, and these people are very innocent, good people. They're not going to be lying, because you can tell from their voice that they are so genuine in what they are saying, So whatever Joe is saying, true that, and one of them said, oh, when I came back to this world, it was like a book for me. He said, I didn't want to talk about my future to anybody, but he kind of knew everything that was going to happen. Some people, they choose to forget again. Other people, they remember it. So he's saying, it's for me, it was like a book is already written. I have to just follow it. That's all. So it's hard to believe, but there is still a purpose. See, that's the beauty of it, that this life is not like, oh, just there is a purpose for you to experience, the world, and through that experience you come out ahead, like, whatever they are telling us in the Shastras, that's what the purpose is. With all this chaos, you feel peaceful. That's what it is. So in the last verse, there was that word kritakritya, sense of absolute fulfillment. And, like this morning's program, one of the very important things he's saying all knowledge, we already have it, because we have that connection with the higher, because at the consciousness level, it's the same. We have studied this so many times, right? So he's saying that the consciousness can download the information anytime. It's hard because everybody understands about downloading now, right? He's saying we have that connection, but हमारा connection, we cannot say टूट गया है, but हम उस connection से पे ध्यान नहीं देते हैं. That's what it is, that by all this sadhana, the connection becomes, more aware. We are more aware of it. You can put it that way. So they are saying that we are capable of getting any knowledge we want anytime if we connect to that higher one. So that's why that seeking the knowledge stops. Because in the worldly sense, we can never get all the knowledge. We know that is impossible. So the knowledge comes as and when that person needs it. It will get downloaded in him. I don't know if that makes sense what I'm saying.
No, that movie Matrix, if you saw carefully, they download, like this guy wanted to fly a helicopter.
So they
downloaded a helicopter on it.
Yes.
So the universal mind has all of the knowledge available
True.
to it. And by connecting it to you and shutting off your logic and the emotional mind, it directs you to every knowledge you have.
Yeah, very nicely put. So you explained it very nicely. That's what I meant. So when they say कि उनको कृत कृत्य होता है, sense of fulfillment and peace, is because they don't go after anything then in the worldly sense. That's what's happening. Okay, so that was a good discussion. Here is the next verse, verse 93. Adi Shanta Yanutpanaha Adi Shanta Yanutpanaha Prakrutyaiva Sunirvritaha Prakrutyaiva Sunirvritaha Sarve Dharma Samabhinnaha Sarve Dharma Samabhinnaha Ajam Samyam Visharadam Ajam Samyam Visharadam. Adi is from the very beginning. Shantaha, peaceful. He is indeed Anutpanaha, unborn. Prakritya eva, by their very nature. Sunirvritaha, completely detached, free from sansar. Sarve dharmaha, all egocentric entities, means jivas, all of us. Sama, equal, sameness or uniform. Abhinnaha, divisionless, not separateness. Ajama, unborn. Samyam, sameness or uniform. Visharadam is purity. Okay. Anilji, you want to read?
All egocentric entities are from very beginning and by their very nature all the same, unborn and completely free. They are characterized by sameness and are non-separate from one another. Therefore, the separate entities are in reality nothing but Atma, unborn, always established in sameness and purity.
So he's just bringing you to the highest level here. That when we say, oh, I'm seeking something or I'm seeking God or this and that, हम लोग ने इस क्लास में डिस्कस किया ना, actually we are already there, we just have to realize it. It's not we have to go anywhere, we have to do anything. That's why they again and again tell you that, doing and running around and all, that really doesn't bring self-realization. So let's not misunderstand karma yoga, because then it defeats the purpose. If we are at that lower level, definitely it will help, because without that we cannot move forward. But if somebody is already at a higher level, then whether they do, they are doing karma yoga spontaneously. For us, we have to check it. Hey, my motives, my this thing. You see what I'm saying? So they are actually doing it spontaneously, so they don't have to worry about it. And that's why sense control he talked about. The higher you go, you don't need to do sense control. It automatically happens. Okay? So that's where it is already there, everything. But I just feel like I don't have it. So basically that's what he's reminding us, that it's like that pot space and the real space. We discussed that. Actually, it is the same. It seems like a pot space. Or my house. It seems like my house and all, but the space is not cut. Space is the same. So if we can remember that, then we can go forward.
In the previous Karika, we are told that when exactly does the individual arrive at the state of self-discovery? The state of selfhood is reached when the seeker experiences a complete voiceless satisfaction. In fact, he arrives at a moment when the seeking in him fulfills itself. This stanza tries to explain to us that the state of perfection pointed out in the previous stanza is not the gaining of new status, but it is an occasion for discovering the real nature in oneself.
See now how he explained, it's not like you are getting anything new. तुम्हारे पास जो ऑलरेडी है तुम उसको रियलाइज कर लिया तुमने, बस. तो एक कहानी मेरे को बहुत अच्छी लगी कि एक भिखारी था. हाँ, तो जैसे just imagine a village in India, and he used to sit and beg, and like people, they were like very upset with him because he was very unclean, and instead of sympathy, they used to shoo him out, like not give him much, and even give, but बहुत गुस्सा आता था उनको कि कैसा आदमी है, so dirty and all that. And finally he भीख मांगते मांगते वो मर गया. Okay, वो मर गया तो फिर लोगों फिर oh my God, this place is so dirty, they buried his body or cremated it, sorry, and or buried whatever, and then they said ये area भी इतनी गंदी है ना, यहाँ की मिट्टी भी उठा के फेंको, because it was smelling and also bad. So then they started digging. And when they were digging, they found a big treasure. सोने चांदी पैसा सब कुछ भरा हुआ था उसके अंदर. तो वो भिखारी जब वो उसके ऊपर बैठ के, and he was crying the whole life. That's the analogy. That he had no reason to beg. He could have given the whole village also everything. खजाने पे बैठ के वो भिखारी बना रहा. So what saints and sages are telling us, we are also like that bhikhari only. That we have everything, we have that consciousness, we have the Atma, we have that connection, we have everything, and the whole life we are crying, I don't have this, I don't have that, It doesn't have to be material thing, because in America we got plenty of that, but even emotionally or family-wise or whatever you call it. कोई ना कोई हम लोग reason ढूंढ लेते हैं रोने के लिए. So I thought this drishtant was beautiful, absolutely, that you already have everything, you just don't know it. वो भिखारी को अगर पहले मालूम पड़ जाता तो वो भीख में नहीं मांगता. That's what it's talking about.
There is another analogy that comes to my mind,
Sure.
and you can correct me if I'm wrong. Is it like a diamond before you polish it? The brilliance is already there, but you cannot see it till you polish it.
Very nice. I think that's
polish,
beautiful.
the more brilliant it becomes.
Yes, that's a very good example, because that's what we are trying to do. We are trying to polish our mind so that we can see the brilliance of the diamond. It's already there. True. Beautiful example.
Having reached the spiritual level, when an entity discovers his complete identity with it, he shall come to understand that all the matter envelopes in him, and the world that he cognizes through them are all, in fact, nothing but the pure Atma. There is no distinction in the homogeneous and absolute self. The plurality is a distortion of truth when projected through the dream nothingness of a mind and intellect.
So he's repeating the same thing, because remember, this is a whole chapter which is a summary of the entire Karika and the sar of those 12 mantras, and now we are already at 93, and there are only 6 verses left. So basically he's just telling you the pure Vedanta over here, and that's what the only thing closest that came to giving another example for this paragraph was how that Sarvapriyanandaji explains consciousness and the world. It's like a gold and the ornaments. That ornament thing that I am separate, I am this, I am that. From the gold perspective, there is nothing else but gold. From the higher perspective, it doesn't matter whether you are earring of gold or necklace, or that value from the gold perspective is exactly the same. In fact, somebody once, Mami said a very nice joke. I don't know if you sent, because nowadays you get so many forwards, so I forget that यहाँ से आया है कि कहाँ से आया, but I thought it was very interesting. He said कि अच्छा मेरे पास ना 2 मूर्तियाँ हैं, एक है रामचंद्र जी की और एक है रावण की. हाँ, तो अभी मैं बोलता हूँ एक मूर्ति, कमला जी आपने भेजा था. हाँ, so all of you heard it, or somebody has not heard it?
Go ahead.
So he said कि मैं मूर्ति कौन सी मूर्ति लेके जाओगे? So that's like रामचंद्र जी की. He's saying okay, अभी मैं बताता हूँ कि रामचंद्र जो रावण की है ना, वो सोने की मूर्ति और दूसरी वाली मिट्टी की है. अब कौन सी लेके जाओगे? Now you will start thinking, oh my God, रावण भी चलेगा. After all, he was a great ज्ञानी and he was Shiva Bhakt. So that's what it is. From the highest perspective, it's the same. That's all he's saying. And the world is Bhagwan only. Because people at a probably lower state, we separate it constantly. Bhagwan यहाँ है, दुनिया यहाँ है, मैं यहाँ हूँ, He's saying, no, it's all one. हम लोग को दुनिया दिखाई दे रही है because of my mind and intellect. Otherwise, it's actually the same. Everything is God only. That's what he's saying. Sorry, Kamalaji, you are saying something?
Yes, I have a question I have to ask Joe. The thing is, Joe was telling like exact time and everything when he went there. So if everything is so predetermined, everything is all decided for you, then where we stand?
It is decided in the sense that every morning when you get up, you get a thought that today I'm going to do this. It's predetermined that thought will come to you. You think you are doing it, but really you are not doing it.
Okay.
Now, you are doing it because of your logic and emotional mind. But once the universal mind takes you over, that is all absorbed in there. And so that makes you do it, but you are not aware of it. You think you are doing it.
It's an ego.
Like,
So where I stand.
Take out your ego. That's what he's saying. Yeah.
It looks like your puppet.
Yes, we are. Unfortunately, we are puppets.
Body is a puppet.
Whatever is I did there. So where do I stand? Where is my willpower? Where is my what is my role? Can I do something, or I'm just controlled by?
Your role is to shatter that ego that you are doing. That's what our role is. I'll tell you example in Bhagavad Gita, since we are doing Bhagavad
But
Gita.
that is also decided we cannot shatter it unless that right time comes.
Yeah. No, actually, I'll tell you what happens. There's a stage which goes through when you start becoming an observer, not just of other stuff, but your own body. So you separate from your body, and your body is doing something, but you are aware of that by looking at it. And you can make a distinction between what thought is coming from you and what is coming from outside. At that stage comes. So you will know that that thought is not the same. I mean, your body may say, I want to eat this and I want to do that and all that. But when you are separated from your body is doing that, you are not doing that.
So you are separated from your body. We are talking about 0.01% people. So it means...
No, it's nothing to do with people. It is to do with what stage of life you are in.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like very few people are in that stage of life.
How do you know that though? How do you know how many people are there?
I've gone through this now. That's part of my book, because every one of us is going towards completeness. Some know it, some don't know it.
True.
So the point is, when you are told, when this thing triggers in you, you are aware of how you are going towards completeness. So it's not like you are different than me, but I am aware, but you are not.
I know, but you are a special case. You are a blessed one.
No. Everybody is blessed the same.
Everybody is blessed. You are going through that, but you are not aware. So when your accumulated whatever you have to do comes there, like for example, we talked about this. So there's space everywhere, right? And we built a house boundary around it. So now we say we are inside the house. Now you remove the boundary. So that space is still there. So now we have our body boundary. So you remove your body boundary, then space is still there. That is your consciousness. But you are the one who is still having the body boundary. So if you go through this, like those who become like Krishna and others, they still, when they come back to the body, there are different stages of your body, like dream state, Jagrat state, and deep sleep, which for conscious people is differently than it is for the non-conscious people. So I don't know if I answered that question.
I think you are answering. Our job is to become aware of it. That's another way you can look at it, Kamalaji. You said, no, what is my role? Because you are getting stuck at the fact that, hey, if everything is predetermined, what does it matter? But it does matter what Joe is saying. One is doing सोए सब कुछ कर रहा है, दूसरा जागृत होके कर रहा है. तो वो बोलते जागृत होके करो तुम, number one. And as far as this, let me bring back to Bhagavad Gita. अर्जुन ने प्रश्न पूछा ना कि भाई why should I fight this war? पूछा कि नहीं? तो कृष्ण भगवान ने बोला कि it sounded so horrible, the war. Okay? He said, no, you must do this and all that. फिर जब 11th chapter में उसको विश्व रूप दर्शन हुआ, तब उसने देखा कि फ्यूचर देखा ना, उसने पास्ट प्रेजेंट फ्यूचर सब साथ में दिखाई दिया. उसने देखा कि मैं युद्ध जीत गया हूँ, सब कुछ हो गया है और ये सब मरे पड़े हैं, ये जो कौरव है. सो देन कृष्ण भगवान टोल्ड हिम कि ये सब मरे पड़े हैं, यू जस्ट बी द इंस्ट्रूमेंट. आई एम जस्ट गिविंग यू द ग्लोरी टू डू दिस. यू आर नॉट डूइंग एनीथिंग. अगर तू नहीं करेगा तो कोई और आके करेगा उस काम को, बिकॉज उनके कर्मों ने ऑलरेडी उनको ये मार डाला है. दे हैव डन सच हॉरेंडस कर्मा. सो देन द डूअरशिप वेंट अवे फ्रॉम अर्जुन. he just felt so honored that he was given a job. हम दुनिया में भी देखते हैं कि नहीं, कोई काम ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में होता है and you have been given the responsibility to do that. It's an honor to that you've been. If you don't do it, somebody else will come and do it. Organization will continue to work.
But he also said that you will do it because it's in your nature to do it. So
you should do it
he was
because
telling
it's your
that
nature
whether
to do it. Yes, you should do
Whether
it.
you want it or not, you will be doing it.
Yeah. So I think that last week also we had this little bit of a discussion about Purusharth and destiny versus Purusharth. And maybe one of these days we will take up that topic, because our teacher used to explain it very nicely, that you cannot say that nothing is in my hand, because then we don't have any motivation and all that at the level we are. So there are big things already decided for us, and then small things you work in. It's like a cow which is tied to a pole, but एक रस्सी से बंधी हुई है वो. So she has enough freedom to घास चरने के लिए वो जा सकती है. But because she's tied up with that pole, she cannot run away, she cannot do all that. But that's how our life is. Hey,
Ramakrishna said that you are tied to a rope, and then you are going round and round with that rope.
That's a different connotation of the example, that you are not getting anywhere out. That's a different. But what I'm saying is Purusharth and Niyati ka jo combination hai. So at our stage we cannot. And then the other thing is, remember we already did this in Karma Yoga, that it is the internal journey that counts. Outside in the world, the people might think you're a failure and this and that. Does not matter. Are you becoming more aware inside your mind? That's what our journey is. We give all the importance to outside, name, fame, this, that. In Bhagavad Gita, doesn't mean, he's saying that be sama in name and fame. Then what is our purpose? Is the internal journey. So becoming more aware, you can call it, like Joe said.
See, one example Osho gave was in the Krishna book, which I have. If anybody wants to read it, it's a thick book on Krishna. That Krishna is going in his chariot, and you are like a makhi, and you are sitting in the back, and you see this धूल उड़ रही है पीछे, and you say कि मैं धूल उड़ा रहा हूँ. But really, the धूल उड़ रही है, that is not because of you.
Yes, I think that it's we have to come to that stage that you realize that your ego become one with it when your ego gets shattered. Basically, that's what you're saying. Let's do the next one, and then maybe some things will get answered. And then what we will do is what we did last time. We will close at 12:30, and then I'll stay for another 5-10 minutes if somebody has, because sometimes people need to leave at 12:30, but others have a question, discussion. We can do that for another 10-15 minutes if you desire so. Okay, here is a verse. Did we finish this one, right?
Yes.
The previous one? Vaisharadyam tu vai nasti. Vaisharadyam tu vai nasti. Bhede vicharatam sada. Bhede vichataram sada. Bhedaninma pruthakvadaha. Bhedaninma pruthakvadaha. Tasmate krupana smrutaha. Tasmate kripana smritaha na vesharadhyam tu vai. No purity or perfection at all. Asti, there can be. Bhede is plurality. Vicharatam, those who rely. Sada is always. Bhede is separativeness. Ninmaha, enmeshed in the idea. It's kind of low, Ninmaha. I'll explain the words. Pruthakvadaha, those narrow-minded who assert separativeness of things or dualists, जो भेद देखते हैं. जैसे मैंने वो गोल्ड का एग्जाम्पल दिया ना, तो वो गोल्ड एक ही है मगर भेद, आई एम लुकिंग एट इट, ओ दिस इज बेंगल, दिस इज देट, दिस इज दैट. सो जो भेद देखते हैं उसको कहा गया है ये पृथक. तस्मात इज देयर फॉर कृपणाहा. दिस इज द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट वर्ड हियर. कृपणाहा इज, दिस वर्ड हैज कम इन भगवद गीता ऑल्सो. कृष्ण भगवान के साथ जब डायलॉग हो रहा था चैप्टर 1 में, तो अर्जुन ने बोला कि मेरी बुद्धि कार्पण्य दोष से ग्रसित हो गई है. लाइक स्मॉल थिंकिंग, एक होता है विशाल थिंकिंग, लाइक बिगर विजन, एंड एक होता है नैरो विजन. यू जस्ट वांट सी दिस टनल विजन एंड दैट्स ऑल, यू कैन थिंक ऑफ द वर्ल्ड. तो कृपण इज, actual word is कंजूस, and we have gone in this word. Conjuice is one who has everything but is incapable of using it. तो the कंजूस मक्खी चूस, like सब दबा के बैठा हुआ है मगर ना खुद enjoy कर रहा है, ना फैमिली को enjoy करने दे रहा है, ना दुनिया को enjoy करने दे रहा है. That's what it is. So I got the everything but I just become incapable of using it. That's is कृपण word. So it's kind of a loaded word. So यहाँ पर narrow minded बोला है, पर basically that's what the word means. Pitiable, और इसीलिए बोलते हैं ना कंजूस pitiable है कि सब कुछ होते हुए भी रो रहा है. Smritaha is traditionally considered to be. Okay. Meera ji, you want to read?
Those who always rely on the concept of separativeness can never realize the inborn natural purity of the self. Therefore, those who are enmeshed in the idea of plurality and those who assert the separativeness of individual things and egos are called unfortunate or narrow-minded.
So he's just telling you that people who are always enmeshed in that idea of plurality, मतलब वो मानने को ही तैयार नहीं है कि कुछ और है भी एक, together, क्या बोलते हैं, oneness, उसी में वो constantly पढ़ा था. Those are like unfortunate and narrow-minded. And I think that example that I gave before of that bhikari who was sitting on top of the khajana but kept acting like a, not acting, but he genuinely felt that he was like a bhikari. So that's what has happened, that we got everything to go to that oneness, or to feel the oneness, or to merge into it, but we don't do it. And that's why we are like unfortunate and narrow-minded. And that reminds me of, that Meena ji, the girl, now she's become like a teacher, Swamini, bolna chahiye ki kya, Priya Kumar. Do you remember Priya Kumar?
Yeah.
From here? Huh? Priya ji. So she was a Bal Vihar student when I was over there in Houston. And I have seen her grow up, so I kind of know. And when she went to that course and she came back, and we were like so enamored, like, wow, what did you learn? This, that. We wanted to know from her. She said, there is one thing that struck me when I went there and I came back, because they made a statement, वहाँ के जो स्वामी थे, जो उनके teacher थे, she said, if you have missed God in this life, you have missed everything. Yeah. And I thought that was such a powerful statement, that we are born here, and if we don't inquire who I am, where I'm coming from, I have missed everything. I may have $1 million, do all that, get name and fame, and it's all gone, finished, useless, So we all were so excited with that. That sentence kind of stayed with us, that, that whole sar of her thing. So that's what he's talking about in this verse, that the people who didn't connect, they are like narrow-minded and unfortunate. Just to classify kiya. Okay. What do you?
From the above, it must be clear that the one who realized the selfhood could on no account come to entertain during his Jivan Mukti state of any separativeness, but would be recognizing and experiencing the selfhood within and without, at all times and in all places. He lives the life of perfection, ever in unison with the unity that underlies the diversity. This being the supreme state of realization, all those who are insisting upon the recognition of plurality are to be considered unfortunate or narrow-minded from the standpoint of absolute perfection.
So now you see that where these people who the Jivan Mukti state bola hai jisko, Turiya state bolo ya Samadhi bolo ya people who are self-realized, they live in oneness, and rest of us, we are still in that duality. Okay.
So one comment I have is to Kamla.
Kamla ji, are you there?
So long as you think Kamla is doing it,
I think
you
she's
are
gone.
in plurality of yourself. I mean, that may be the extreme, but the point is, not only the others are same, but you are also part of that, the consciousness. So once you think that way, then you won't say I'm unfortunate or fortunate or I'm effort or not effort. It doesn't matter. The consciousness will drive you what you're going to do. And that's the difference, because your universe is different than mine, because what I've done previously, you don't have to repeat. And so all of us are at different stages, but we are moving towards the same.
I think what you are saying that in the dunya mein bhi to example hai, all the nadis in the end they do end up in the ocean, but ab sabka path alag hai, sabka sab kuch alag hai. That's a beautiful example, you know.
Right.
It some goes through the big mountains, some just go on the plains, but in the end they all end up in the ocean.
Right.
The word used here by Sri Gaurapada for Dvaitins drowned in separativeness, Bheda Nimna.
Bhed ninma. Bhed means separate karna. Bhed bolte na, bhed bhav karna. Ninma means small. Means, you know, those two words together means drowned in separate. उसी में पड़े रहते हैं, like duality में. हाँ.
Bhed Nimna is characteristically powerful and vivid. Unless a student of spiritualism seeking the absolute is ready to cut away all his attachments and get himself ready to transcend his entire mind and intellect even, he shall not reach the acme of perfection as visualized and experienced by the perfect masters of the Upanishads.
So he's just telling you that, you know, we have to get over this. There is no other way to become conscious of that higher one. That's what he's saying.
This capacity is not natural because of the small mindedness of the seeker. A large heart and an ever expanding intellectual and mental vision rigged up with the necessary character is the one who is seeking truth. Those who keep themselves exiled from their own real nature because of their attachments to the pluralistic world of phenomenon, therefore, are aptly called unfortunate or narrow-minded. Kripana.
Kripan. Remember I told you that word kripan is the most important one? That's what it is. That if you are living in that separativeness, then we are kripan. Means it's a powerful thing he told us. You can juice, mahamakhi juice ho tum log sabhi, if you cannot become one with that.
The stanza is reminiscent of the world of Yajnavalkya.
Yagnavalkya was a character in Yagnavalkya and Gargi. These are from Brihadaranya Upanishad में ये कहानी है उनकी, वो बता रहे हूँ. Yagnavalkya. Okay.
The stanza is reminiscent of the world of Yagnavalkya and Gargi in
Brahad Aranyak actually. Brahad
Aranya Upanishad. Brahad Aranya Upanishad. Whosoever, O Gargi, without knowing the Akshara immutable, departs this world, he is unfortunate or narrow-minded.
So that Priya Kumar's words that when she came back from that is exactly of this. That, if you have missed God, you have missed everything. So that's what it is. Whoever, O Gargi, without knowing the Akshara means that immutable, departs this world, he is unfortunate or narrow-minded. So that tells us every human being has been given that chance to realize. And that doesn't mean कि world में जो जैसे what Joe is saying जो हमको karmic है हमारा वो चलता ही रहेगा. You don't mix it with that. This internal journey that we take of awareness has nothing to do with, because we saw that all the self-realized people from their body perspective उनको cancer वगैरह सब कुछ हुआ, and a lot of other unfortunate things happened also. Yogananda को भी बदनाम करने की कोशिश की उन्होंने वगैरह वगैरह. I read his whole biography, and all those things happened. That has nothing to do with this internal journey of self-realization. So outside world we should not mix it. Hey, does that mean that everything has to be perfect outside? Absolutely not. But that is tied up with our, at the lower level with our karmic thing. But the internal journey, everybody has that chance in every life. So that's where those two verses finish. If anybody has, we have 5 minutes before we close the class, and after that we can stay, whoever wants to, another 5-10 minutes. If anybody has any comment.
I have one question. So to the realized souls, they see the world the same. All the unrealized, every one of them sees the world differently.
That's what it said in that one verse, true.
Right.
Yeah, and basically, that range can be different, Anilji. How much we know. Sometimes we may intellectually know, but I'm not living it. Right? I think that in our class, a lot of us feel that way, that, okay, intellectually I know, but when I go out, I still face the problem. And that's why Bhagavad Gita is so beautiful, because Arjun has those same questions. It'll come to a stage when Arjun will say, okay, मेरे को सब कुछ बता दिया भाई आपने, लेकिन अब मैं बाहर निकलूंगा तो मेरे को तो फाइट करना है, मेरे को तो मेरी बीवी मेरे से लड़ेगी, ये होगा वो होगा. How do I see you in this world? He asks, and then Krishna Bhagwan gives, the Vibhuti Yoga, that, hey, he tells him the art of looking at God in everything. Because that's what we are looking for, right? We are looking for, how do I see कोई एकदम nasty आदमी हो, उसमें मैं भगवान कैसे देखूं? So he gives you the art. So I think that Bhagavad Gita gives us a lot of those tips, how to move towards that what state you are saying, that they see world differently, If we stick with Bhagavad Gita, all the answers will come.
But is it true that a realized soul does not see bad in anything?
That is true, but don't misunderstand with the vyavaharik thing he does. He might reprimand somebody, he might try to fix things, he will do all of that out of compassion. But he knows that the highest level, like Joe was saying, everybody's the same and they are going to end up, he's just trying to hasten our journey and making us aware of it, rather than even hasten se bolna chahiye. He's making us aware of it. Hey, tum wahi ho. So just like we discussed, that if somebody knows, an actor, that I am Tom Cruise, then he can be a really bad person when in his role. He can be really bad. But if you start thinking I am this bad person, there'll be a big problem.
So one way I'll explain, it's in the Shiv Sutra, that we are all born incomplete. So when you go and become complete, like you are in that mode, you are no longer that person. You are actually merged with the universe. So once you have been there, then you come back, you are again incomplete, because otherwise you won't have your body. So the idea is you have a very thin connection and you are aware what has happened.
See, sometimes the language has a problem, Joe. But the moment you said you are incomplete, that's not what the Shastras are saying. Shastras are saying, like, I'll bring you back to these NDE people, okay? NDE people, when they shed their body and they were in that realm, they said in 1 second all the pain was gone. Like because it's like Swamiji bolte the, if you have a head, you will have a headache. The fact that you have a headache, that means you have a head. So because when we are in the body, all the dharma of the body, we are crushed by it. But the moment they got separated, they had a complete like happiness, peace, and some of them, they said they had dementia in this world. The moment they got separated, awareness was full. So because उन्होंने वो कपड़े पहन लिए हैं, जैसे we read about it, no, it is like a cloth that we wear. मैंने एक suit पहन लिया, like the people who go in the space, all of a sudden they can't breathe on their own now. They need all those equipment. That's what it is. We have worn a suit.
See, scientifically, I'll go by the talk by Jill Bolt Taylor when he got the brain problem. And she talks about there's a thing called I am, which connects us to the universe. And her I am got destroyed. So she could experience the universe.
The oneness, yeah. Okay.
The oneness. Mm-hmm. So the idea is when you are, that happened because of accident or whatever you want to call it, and people do it through getting full consciousness, the same thing. Their I-ness got destroyed. Then he comes back. So all of these states are described. Actually, in Shiv Sutra, they go through that once you have achieved consciousness, how do you live in this world in every one of those states? And that is another way of looking at it. So the moment you have your body, you have actually a connection of ego. It may be very small, maybe 0.0001%, but still there.
Because you need